Okay, well, a common question, and I was asked recently, is what to do if a temporary crown comes off. It's the old Murphy's Law. If something bad is going to happen, it's going to happen to me. It's usually going to happen on a weekend or on vacation. Patient had a temporary crown. So those that don't know how temporary crowns come into existence, when we prepare a tooth for a crown, it usually takes 2 visits. And in the interim, in between those 2 visits, we're going to prepare the tooth and shape it, take an impression to send to the lab so they can fabricate the final crown. In the meantime, we're going to fabricate a temporary crown for a person to wear until the lab is done with the crown and sends it back for us to cement. In the meantime, we secure that crown to the tooth in whatever fashion we choose. I have techniques that 9 times out of 10 or 99 out of 100, or very, very rarely do my temporaries come off of teeth. We have a technique where they lock in place. However, never say never. Things sometimes happen. So if you're on vacation, it's a weekend, and it's impossible to see a dentist, one very simple thing that you can do is if you still have that temporary crown, you can use toothpaste to use as a temporary. Has a little bit of fluoride in there. It's going to help secure it a little bit. It's still going to be very wiggly. You're still going to have to be very, very careful so that it doesn't come off, but it does fill that space. Another step up from that is at the grocery store. Locally here, we have Safeways and we have Thriftways and Rite Aids and things. You can go into the dental section where you're buying the toothpaste and the floss. I assume you buy toothpaste and floss, so you know where this is. Near that whole area, there is temporary cement. Honestly, it is the same material that we use as temporary cement in the dental office. We call it IRM, Interim Restorative Material. You mix it up as directed, you place it inside the temporary, and then seat it on the tooth. And it should at least hold you through until you can get in and see the dentist. If you've swallowed the temporary crown, well, good luck. Honestly, what ends up happening, if you're not in any pain, it's not really an emergency, you're probably going to be fine, but you should go see the dentist right away. In our office, we take impressions for that temporary that are dimensionally stable, meaning we hold on to them just in case. It's an insurance policy. And if you came into our office missing the thing, give us 5-10 minutes later, we can make a new one for you. Some offices use materials that aren't dimensionally stable, so they'll have to eyeball it or freehand it or do whatever they can do to buy you some time. Or it's very possible that by the time you get into the dental office that actually is back from the lab, the final restoration is ready for you, and they can just pop on the final restoration. So it's probably not an emergency unless it is causing a lot of pain. And I would say 90% of the time there isn't any pain when the temporary pops off, but occasionally there is. So probably not something to ruin a vacation, probably not something to ruin your weekend. But certainly if you're local, maybe give your dental office a call and see what they recommend.
Dr. Timmerman is known internationally with licenses in multiple states in the United States, plus Belgium and Dubai, for cosmetic, implant, and sleep dentistry, with fellowships in the International Congress for Oral Implantology and the Academy of General Dentistry, and a diplomate in the American Board of Dental Sleep Medicine. If you would like to become a patient of Dr. Timmerman or simply have questions, please go to our website, www.drtimmerman.com. That is www.drtimmerman.com. Or call us at 206-241-5533. Or you could email questions for an episode of a future podcast at thewholetoothpodcast@gmail.com.